To be or not to be undead? That is the question. And as the resident dweller of the underworld, Dark Anubis, I'd like to say yes, I am indeed undead. And I am here again, back at you guys, with another live or live-ish commentary video. This one will be a slightly different. It's kind of scripted because the audio is separated from the gameplay. But I just wanted to kind of do something different. Let me know what you guys think, if you like the more live stuff or not, and we'll go from there. Currently, we're just loading up the prototype of the week, the Rainmakers, and we're going to give them a good old try. And Dr. T Volcano Base. I also decided to full boost, not exactly sure why, but so be it. And here we are, going into it. Wow, we're slowly and easily gonna break down this very first stage. I wanted to see how you guys thought about the Rainmakers so far. I do think they are a slightly overrated troop, but fun nonetheless, as are most prototype troops that come through. And we are just gonna easily roll through that base with no problems at all. Also, while we're doing here, I wanted to do my infamous shout out. If you guys enjoy the content, want to see more of it, and like to support the channel, please like, subscribe, and hit those notifications so you can always know when I am posting or going live. We're going to easily go through these stages. You guys are in for a hoot, because there's some fun stuff at the end of the video as well, from some Rainmaker tech, so to say. Just another stage. Now, Rainmakers definitely get better as you get the, as usual, 2 per boat. So, if you are fortunate enough to be HQ 24, you're going to find you have a lot more fun with them. But even if you're a low level, they definitely find their place and have their niche, that's for sure. I know I enjoy using them, at the very least. They just bring something new to the game. It's not the same old boring stuff. But who needs Rainmakers when you have all those critters? Another easy stage 2, going into stage 3. I also wanted to talk about the poll that I have on the page. That surely, I think you guys will enjoy. Talking about proto troops, it's talking about what proto troops, if you could, would you like to be permanently in the game. I'm pretty sure I already know what will win, but we'll go through and test it out anyway. If you're unsure of what prototypes are, or I'm sorry, proto troops, which ones do what, feel free to ask in the comments, and I'm sure someone or myself can give you a little trivial knowledge. Stage 3 here. Like I said, this is all just super easy stuff. Some people said they like to see the hits though, so I have no problem showing them off. I know it's not the most exciting gameplay, but nonetheless you get to see some Rainmaker action. I choose to go with Bullet just because he acts as that little tanky unit. Rainmakers, after all, even though they are tanks, are not super tanky, so the biggest thing you'll find is prototypes could be bad for them, certain ones, as well as rocket launchers and shock launchers. They do have a very minuscule amount of range over boom cannons, so if you're lucky enough and they sit just right, they will outrange boom cannons, which is pretty cool. Stage 4 it is. This is where the stage starts to get slightly more interesting, but as an HQ 23, we're not worried about it. As you can see in a lot of my attacks, I actually like to barrage down those long-range weapons, just so I don't have to deal with them. As well as the shock launchers, because anytime something stalls your troops, it's a bad day. If you ever find that you're struggling on attacks, check to verify that you're not being hit by critter launchers or shock launchers, both of which are super annoying and can slow down and sometimes even ruin your attacks. People will tell you that if you ever worship, that's for sure. The other problem with Rainmakers is they are extremely slow for the amount of DPS they do. Like I said, their DPS is pretty good. The biggest thing about it is it's splash damage, so you can hit multiple buildings at one time, which is always good. But man, do they mess it up, that's for sure. it appears, as going through the video, I didn't realize I did lose a Rainmaker, and that is because, as said, the critter launchers can be the worst enemy of the Rainmaker. If just one critter manages to get close enough to them, they do friendly fire. If you didn't know, if a troop can destroy mines with their attacks, then they can also do friendly fire. That's why stuff like Laser Rangers and Melon Bombardiers do not have friendly fires, because they also cannot destroy mines. But Grenadiers, Rainmakers, Lasertrons all have friendly fire. They all can destroy mines as well. Kind of a double-edged sword. So stage 5 was slightly... it was okay. Like I said, those two boom cannons are always a little bit nervous, just because if your Rainmakers make one bad move, you can easily get shot in the face and lose one. But for the most part, we are pretty good here, no problems. So I kind of checked to see how you guys felt about the commentary. Most of the folks were pretty positive in the comments, so I'll continue to do this. Like I said, I am still perfecting the craft of commentating and editing on all that stuff, so do bear with me if you do hear some crazy noises or people dying in the background. Totally kidding. We're already dead, remember? Or is it undead? Hard to tell. And here they are. This is where Rainmakers really find their best stat is the splash damage that they do when stuff is bunched up. And as long as you have something to tank, like a very healthy, thick bullet, you have no problem. They will do the job they do. They also have just amazing range that allows them to kind of overshoot a lot of things. So, like I said, we will look more into that at the end of the video. Stage 6 is actually where my ult account got held up a little bit, just because the beach is hot on the left side, and Rainmakers, because of their slowness, I don't think are going to clear the right side all that well. So here we kind of just get rid of the massive splash damage and go to town. Also, how do you guys feel about the speeding up of some of the gameplay? Like I said, when the Rainmakers are kind of doing their business and destroying the headquarters, I do speed it up just because I'm sure you won't want to sit there for an extra 10 to 15 seconds instead of them. If you would like to see the gameplay all the way through, even though it's a little bit longer than usual, please let me know. Here we are, just going to work. Everything is perfectly lined up. If you guys didn't know, Laser Rangers are my favorite troop, and that is definitely because any troop that does collateral and splash damage just makes the game a little bit more fun. Bombardiers are of course great because they have great DPS, but having something that does collateral damage is just a very different story. That's why people absolutely go crazy for Melon Bombardiers, because they are just Bombardiers, but even in more insane. So how's everyone enjoying their season 49? So far I haven't quite made it to gold yet, but we are working our way there currently in the 3 ER hell that is going on. That's a whole lot of fun. I was hoping this season would be a little bit more offensive, but it seems very much like a fizzle meta, which I am never a fan of, but we're trying to make it work out. Once again, this just so happened I wasn't paying attention to bullets, so we did end up dying a little bit early for season 6, which is unfortunate, but so be it. And that is an easy stage 6 down there, folks. I did lose one Rainmaker, I believe, to the boom cannon. Like I said, you just gotta be very careful with their range. As great as it is, sometimes they do step into the wrong spot. And here we go, the stage 7 to bid them all. Only losing 2 Rainmakers thus far. We are gonna see if we can go into stage 7 with no casualties. The problem with stage 7 here is gonna be those RLs that just constantly have some beating down happening, but if we get rid of them as well as the shock launcher there, I think we'll be a-okay. We send out bullet just to get that easy tank damage going on. Just let the Rainmakers go crazy. Now this mortar is sometimes firing at them, but I'm not too worried about it. My Rainmakers, though, aren't a Scorcher or a Mech. They do have some type of damage, which is pretty good. Just barraging out. as we make our way through the base, we're kind of just using some of our GP to barrage out those RLs, figuring out what the best strategic way is. I try to get the ones that aren't super in path, just because I don't want my Rainmakers to walk too far over. And that left one is still being a little annoying, so we will eventually barrage that out once we get that GP. We'll kind of just leave the back one and maybe shock or something of that nature. We are trying to keep Bullet alive as much as possible until we can kind of clear out more of the defenses. Then we let him die, and the Rainmakers should be able to finish the work there. Time to barrage out that rocket launcher. My barrage and artillery are also maxed for my headquarters level, if you guys ever wondered why my stuff does so much damage. I believe that the first thing you should be upgrading in your armory is your gunboat abilities, particularly your barrage, artillery, and shock grenade, shock bomb, whichever one it is. And then your secondary abilities come after you do your primary troop combination. So for me it's warriors, laser rangers, stuff like that. It's always important to focus on what you use the most. Got a little speed up there just to kind of get through the base, but we are going to slowly check out this Season 7 ending. Oop, missed flare. Here we go, just showing you just how insane the range of those those Rainmakers are. Just absolutely crazy. Easy peasy lemon freezy. Or squeezy. There we go, stage 7. And of course, I'm sure the favorite time of the video, we are going to collect our hourly chest. If you guys didn't know, the daily chest after a quality of life change is now an hourly chest, which you can collect every hour. I highly recommend it if you can afford gaining victory points. I like to use the resource bases because tidbit, your resource bases, you lose 1 VP for losing one and you gain 1 for destroying one, so you'll never go positive in VP, so if you're trying to stay in one area, that is a good way to do it. That's also why we slightly abuse this, not really a bug, Supercell has said it's intentional, so just this interesting thing where we try to put our headquarters on the beach and see if we can get our homies to play along like this. I believe that's Russian friend, I could be wrong. I'm bad with languages, so please don't murder me at the cross. But having the bases there just make it easier for you to swap back and forth between players and you all win. Of course, we have one of the OGs here, Slayer, who has been playing along for quite a while now. We actually are close to having this base full, but we will still push along. And I always appreciate Slayer because he doesn't BS me like some of these other players have, so shout out to Slayer and my man for playing the game and becoming an absolute winner. Let's check out on who the next homie is. Also, when you're doing these base exchange, it's always good to try to move those defenses so that you can make it a little bit easier. It does appear that we have some folk here that decided to take my resource base while Rainmakers are out or something of that nature, so we're going to easily just run through this base. I haven't used heavies a whole lot in recent times, but it's a good showing that sometimes numbers are better than thickness. Just having all these heavies out as a front line just allow our bombas to do what they are meant to do. We are going to barrage down those rocket launchers so that they don't cause too much of an issue. I also believe Kavan is an amazing hero and often underrated when it comes to main game, on main island. Having that second wind ability and just bringing back heavies to keep the wall consistent, just absolutely amazing. And here we are just absolutely running through the base. No problems at all. Didn't lose a single bombardier. We did lose all of our heavies, of course, but with instant training, that is not a problem at all. And a little speed up, because I'm sure you guys don't want to see me move every single building. Just trying to get all of these buildings to the back so that I can try to get another homie in the pocket. We shall see if he plays, and I will keep you posted tomorrow. Just moving all of these buildings out of the way. Like I said, it's a little tedious, and if he decides to move them back, then we'll just continue to take it over, and eventually shall be victorious. Here is Daniel Ua, who has recently a new homie. The problem with Daniel Ua is he refuses to move his defenses, so I might soon have to take this space back permanently, but we'll play a little bit longer. And we are going to once again take out another base to get another VP and to get even closer to our hourly chest. I'm just playing with Dr. Kalan just because sending out 60, 90, 100 riflemen is fun, to say the least. Easy base. I am going to move these defenses, and hopefully he will start to play along. Otherwise, like I said, we are going to have to switch it back, because I get a little lazy to have to move these defenses every time. And here we go. The other original OG homie right here, my Chinese friend, who has absolutely played along the whole time, and funny enough, him and I can no longer fill this base with any more defenses, so now we are just getting the free BP from each other. Like I said, sometimes I keep it for a few hours, sometimes he does. The resources aren't nearly as big as the resource reward you get for the chest. Just to put it in perspective, having, let's say, 2,000 loot every hour from one of these resources bases doesn't make up for the 1 hour that it takes to get one of those chests, which could easily net you 200,000, 150, somewhere around those lines of resources, which would take anywhere from 20 to 30 hours just for having the resource base. Just an interesting fact. Get our dark shards because we collect only power stones from that, and we're also going to use our storage. Like I said, we're currently with a double builder, so we are doing our storage and one of our defenses. The boom cannons are the latest on our list to try to get those upgraded to the max level. And we are just about 200 experience, maybe 300 shy of level 61. Then comes the hard part of the 3,000 experience. And now, before the video ends, I want to show you some maybe hidden tech, maybe not, of the Rainmakers and just how amazing that damage is on certain operation bases such as Titan or Minotaur. That little wall that sometimes guards the core can actually be shot over, which is pretty cool in my opinion. Like I said, I didn't realize just how much range they actually did, so cool little tidbit for you guys, and I will catch you on the next one. The resident dweller of the underworld, Dark Anubis, signing out. Peace!